Medical disclaimer. This video is for informational purposes. It does not replace the medical advice of a trained doctor. Seek medical advice before beginning any treatment plan. Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Today's magical number, which is later in the day, is 12.8. And I'm coming down. I started off normal, went up high, and I'm coming back down. Yeah, and yes, I got rid of this. I'll keep it off for a bit, and then we'll grow it back. I want to continue my story time at Mike's Diabetes World. I want to talk to you about a recent diabetic emergency I had. Now, in yesterday's video, I discussed about being sick and having high blood sugars and, things not really falling into place. And now I want to continue my story time. Now, where I left off, I had just been moved into my cubicle for the next 8 hours, I guess. I don't know how long I was really there. But I had just gone through a check-in. And the area I live in is a suburb of the city of Vancouver. Well, it's a suburb of a suburb, I guess. Anyway, it's a smaller town with a smaller hospital. There's bigger hospitals to the west of us, to the south of us, and to the east of us. But our little community has a little hospital. And they only deal with medicine cases there, and they have an emergency department where you can get diagnostic tests done and a whole bunch of things. Now, I had heard stories before I moved out here of it wasn't the greatest, and that there was so many complaints about Mission Emergency, and I read through them and I thought, you know what? This can't be true. Oh yes, oh how they waited in so much pain for hours and hours. And I think a lot of people want to treat emergency rooms as sort of their, how do I put this? Doctor's office. Oh, how they had to wait so long, and they were, sitting there in so much pain. Well, first of all, I think we have to stop and take a look and say, you know what? That's not what emergencies are for. It's for acute injuries. You may have broken your arm or whatever and need to get it set, leg, whatever. Okay. But emergency departments are also there for life-threatening injuries. You don't go there and say, excuse me, I have a sore throat. There's a number of walk-in clinics and other places where you can go and get things like that taken care of. an emergency room, isn't it? As I'm wheeled into my spot, I thought, okay, from what I've heard, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to just have to wait. I wasn't feeling great, and I thought I'd be there and have to sit there and say, excuse me, excuse me. I was totally surprised and how quickly saw. I had an IV started. They started giving me fluids. They took blood work. They diagnosed me as having diabetic ketoacidosis. They kept filling me with liquid. They started an insulin IV, which was absolutely wonderful, and it started to bring down my blood sugar. While I was there, I started to feel better, but I wasn't out of the woods yet. For some of you who don't know, diabetic ketoacidosis is sort of the life emergency of type 1 diabetes. It's when your body is saying, hey, you know what? Things aren't going correctly. We need to get action. And I described yesterday how I was feeling. And I said, pretty much, I felt like I had the flu, but without the fever. And I was really tired. I didn't sleep the night before. And now they came in like every 2 hours to do blood work. He was also doing glucometer readings. And I thought, okay, things are going to be settled here. And then, we could go back to the ward. No, let's not go too quickly. All of a sudden I heard, oh well, bed 3 is being transferred. And okay. So I was going over to the major hospital in the area, Abbotsford Regional Hospital. And I heard I was going to go to high acuity. Now, I had been in high acuity in one of the larger hospitals down in Vancouver, so I kind of knew what was going on. When I got to the hospital, they didn't really have room for me in high acuity, so I was going to be placed in ICU. I mean, it was weird, kind of a nurse looking in on you 24 hours a day, working away. And they kept my IV going, and I didn't really sleep that night. And I don't really sleep well in new surroundings. But things got better. They started treatment, they did a whole bunch of tests, and here I'm going, okay, now what? I saw a doctor on intake, and until a little bit later in the story, I never saw a doctor again. It was sort of like, well, we only deal with really sick people, and you don't need to see a doctor right away. then they would kind of go, okay, blah, 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 this is what we're going to do, and you're going to have to submit to it. All right. So the first night I kind of went along with this. Granted, I had a really nice picture window. I couldn't look at it, but during the day there was loads of light. The food wasn't terrible, but they lowered my blood sugar, and so now I felt comfortable I could eat. It kept working on lowering my blood sugar, and will continue on with my time in the ICU. It was fun. It was exciting. But we'll keep it up. This will, I guess, we're moving on to level 3. Level 3. Part 3. Anyway, have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.